Hi everybody, happy Advent. If we haven't met, my name is Bonnie Marziani, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of these great big snowflakes. Let's get started. The first thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to get your materials together. It's pretty simple. You'll need Scotch tape, a stapler, a scissors, a pencil's helpful, and you'll need 6 pieces of paper. I used paper right out of my computer printer and it's worked great. So if you have some of that paper, let's start there. I want to let you know this is a great craft to do as a family, or even if it's just 2 of you together. It makes it a lot easier to have a couple of hands working on this project. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make all of our rectangle pieces of paper into just square pieces of paper. And I'll show you how to do that. If you take a piece of computer paper and you fold one side to meet the other side so that you have a triangle here, then you can cut off this extra piece . And when you open the triangle, you'll have a perfect square. So you're going to want to do that with all 6 pieces of your paper because we need to have 6 squares. You might want to pause the video here and get your paper squares all ready. Okay? Now the next thing that we'll need to do with our paper is we're going to have to make some cuts in the paper so that it turns into more of a snowflake. So we're going to take each one of those squares, we're going to fold it back into a triangle, and then we're going to fold it into another triangle by putting the points together like this, okay? So now we have a smaller triangle. All right, now after you've done that with all of your pieces of paper, we're going to start cutting in the snowflake edges, okay? This might be the trickiest part, so let me give you a couple of tips. Okay, when you look at your triangle, if you look at the edge, one edge you'll see 4 edges of the piece of paper. And it's easiest if you make with your pencil a little number 4 there. On another edge of the triangle, you'll see just 2 edges. Put a number 2 there, and on the last edge, there'll just be 1. With the last side of the triangle, there'll just be 1 edge. So the way that you want to make your cuts is you want to start on side 2, and you're going to cut up to side 1. We're going to make 3 cuts, evenly spaced, and we're going to end before we get to the edge of side 1, okay? Let me show you how we're going to do it. So if you can see my triangle, I have side 2 here, side 4, side 1. We're going to make 3 cuts, but you don't go all the way through because the snowflake is going to have to hold itself together. So we make 3 cuts like that. And when you open your piece of paper, it should look like this. The square is still there, and now you have these pretty cuts inside the paper. Can you see that? Okay. Now when I did this the first time, I made a lot of oopses. So I'll show you what an oops looks like. You can make an oops, and an oops will make the edges of your paper look like this, which is pretty, but it's not going to work for this project, okay? So you want all 6 of your pieces of paper to be in the shape of a square and all those cuts to be inside. This might be a good time to pause the video and get all 6 of your pieces of paper ready with the cuts in them so that we can go on to the next step. All right, the next step, we need to have our Scotch tape. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these pretty cuts and we're going to put them together to make kind of the roundness of the snowflake. So this is where it's really handy to have another person, because one person can do the tape and one person can do the kind of folding. You don't really want to fold it down. You just want to bring the edges together and put a little piece of Scotch tape there. So I'll kind of show you what it looks like. Looks like you're making a little tube there. Can you see that? All right, so that's the first one. And then what you do is you gently fold it over and you take the next 2 points and you bring them together, and hopefully you have a helper who will help you with the Scotch tape. Okay, and you put those points together. All right, so now we have like a tube here and I have this little tube down here. Now we turn it over again. All right, get a little Scotch tape, bring the points together. All right, you see how we're doing this? This is the 3D part. And then we flip it over one more time and we bring the last 2 points together. All right? So now we have this interesting piece of paper that has almost like the little tubes inside of it, okay? And you'll need to do this on each one of your pieces of paper. This is another good place to pause and to work with your family or your partner to make all 6 of them and get them ready. I did a little advanced work so this video would not be so long, so I have all 6 of them ready to go. Okay, so you pause the video, and when you're ready to take the next step, I'll be right here waiting for you. All right, now we have to figure out a way to get all of these pieces together. And the way that we do that is we'll pick up one of these by the edge, by one of the points, and we pick up another one, and we'll put the point together. We're going to actually take all 6 of them and put one of the points together. You have to handle them kind of carefully. Snowflakes are kind of delicate, aren't they? So we're going to put all of these together. Now we're going to use our stapler. We're just going to put one staple right as close as we can to the point. Now when you lay it out on your table, gently take those snowflake arms. It'll start looking like that magnificent snowflake that I showed you at the beginning. Okay? How are you doing? Good? Then you're ready for the last step. And the last step is we're going to take 2 of the snowflake arms, and not up by the point here. We're not going to put the points together, but right where they're touching, we're going to put a little staple in there. Okay? We're going to do that on each one. So we're going to put the arms together, not the points. We're going to leave the points out, but we're going to put this little, the pieces that have like the first little X in them, and put them together and give them a little staple. How are you doing? Okay, we're going to do that so that all 6 of the snowflake arms, are connected. So I want to let you know that when I was about your age, one day at church, our pastor told us that every snowflake is different. Did you know that? And I couldn't believe it because I grew up in a place where it snowed a lot. And so I had already seen a lot of snowflakes. But the pastor said that God has such a great imagination. He makes every single snowflake unique and different. And then he also reminded us that God's imagination is so wonderful. He's made each one of us unique and different too. And so he reminded us that we are special and that we are created by God and that everybody else is different from us on purpose because God has a wonderful and abundant imagination and he wants everyone to be made special. So this Advent, I hope when you look at your snowflake, you'll remember that you are a magnificent and wonderful creation of God. And that you have a chance to celebrate that as we're getting ready for Jesus to come at Christmas. I hope your snowflake is great. We hope that you might take a picture of your snowflake and where you hang it in your house or where you keep it. And I hope that you have a wonderful Advent, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.